Is it really too late to buy property in Australia with unbelievable amounts of growth already in the market? Are we just FOMOing in, and is it time to just jump in, or should we wait and just, gather our thoughts? Hey guys, my name's Ravi Sharma and I'm the founder and buyer's agent here at Search Property. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another episode of Search Property TV. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button, drop me a like, and let's see if we can get this video to 150 likes. No more, no less, 150. So I thought it would be a great idea to just have a casual chat with you guys around what is actually happening in the market right now. If you really look at mainstream media, there is so many articles coming out. Now those economists that predicted 30% drops last year are coming out and saying, well, we're gonna have huge amounts of growth this year. It's all a bit confusing. And when you really go out there, it can be really frustrating. And from what I've seen, what I've actually heard from you guys as well, you guys are missing out on property. You're going to open homes and there's like 30 or 40 people there. What happened? All of a sudden in, what seems to be a period of 6 months, we've gone from a period of uncertainty to real certainty and a lot of people wanting to jump in. Even for our buyer's agency service, right? There has been so much demand, and come first week of January, I'm talking like the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd of January, the amount of inquiries we received as a company was just astounding. I was sitting there casually relaxing on the couch, and within the first 3 days getting hit with so many emails and requests, my phone wouldn't stop ringing and I had to stop answering them because it was just mental. And the same sort of thing has just continued all the way through now to the end of Jan. And so where does that leave us? Well, as a company, as a buyer's agency, we definitely have our commitment to you guys as our clients, and my ongoing commitment to this YouTube channel, to you guys that spend your time to watch these videos, that I won't stop making these videos. There have been some weeks where I've put in more effort into YouTube, and then there's been some weeks where I've just not been able to keep up with the demand. And for me, I've made it very clear to all my clients, I've made it very clear on my private Facebook group as well, that we will not take on more clients than we can manage. I don't think that it's the smartest way to run a business, and I also don't think it's the way that I want to run a business, where there's some agents out there that are just money hungry and they're just getting as many clients as they can. I would much rather slow it all down and then cap how many clients we can take on each month, and that way we are able to give the maximum amount of attention, but also the quality of properties we find for you guys is going to be the highest. So now we've sort of addressed where we are as a company. What's happening with the market? It is wild. There are properties being sold left, right, and center, and there's not enough stock coming onto the market. So before you sort of think, well, it's an amazing time to be a real estate agent, or it's an amazing time to be a buyer's agent, it's actually quite difficult. It's very frustrating because properties come on the market and they get sold, and they get sold very quickly. Now, it's not so much about the time and how quickly they get sold is what I'm concerned with, is how people are purchasing these properties in general. Now, some people are literally going, I can go in without a loan and I can purchase the property outright. When you're looking at $250,000, $300,000, some people have that sort of money. Now I don't, but some people do. And so they go in and they say, well, you know what? It's gonna take too long to get a home loan and I'm getting priced out of the market. So I wanna jump in right now, which means I'm gonna go and buy the property with all my savings and buy it outright. So there's that category of people. The other category of people that I find are the most dangerous, that are the most risk-taking, unnecessarily taking risks really, and downright stupid, are the people that are going out there and purchasing homes that are 20 or 30-year-old properties without a pest and building inspection. Let me just repeat that. They are going out there willing to spend their savings and then take on a loan with the bank and purchase these properties without a pest and building inspection. That is absurd. Now, for those who don't know what a pest and building inspection really involves, it's basically professionals going out there and looking for a couple of things, like, is there termite damage? Is the building structurally sound? Is it not just gonna break down, or you're gonna have some ongoing costs coming forward? and you try and avoid those things. So having professionals go through that, and we do that with every client. I've had one client that's come to us and said, look, it doesn't matter, like I don't care about the pest and building inspections, let's just go for it. And I've said, I don't think you need to be a client with us because it's not risk I would personally take on. And so if it's not something I would personally do, it's probably not something I want my clients to be doing. This is a combination of what's happening on mainstream media, then people getting frustrated, and also thinking, well, 2021 is going to be different to 2020. But in fact, we've already gone through a month and we're seeing those restrictions still be there. We're still seeing very similar conditions to our workplaces. We're not being able to travel again. It seems like a lot more of 2021 is going to look like 2020. So this is where that frustration comes in, because some people have been very, very patient in the sense of, the uncertainty that 2020 brought about, that they're sort of waiting and going, well, now I'm done waiting. I waited 12 months. I couldn't buy anything. I'm just buying the next thing that comes my way. So here's where we're at, right? We have properties that are selling very quickly for above market value, and in areas that traditionally were cold. I guess when I mean cold, they're at the bottom of the market, but they've found their growth and they've gone straight from the bottom to being overvalued. Now, where the real danger here is, if we decide as an economy or as the government comes in and they step in and they say, well, we're going to change the approach. We're going to probably increase rates and we might do something else here in the economy. We might go fiscal stimulus. There might be certain things that they could shift. If they shift those things, there could be a price correction. Now, with the price correction, we could see that as 5%, 10%, 20%. I don't think we're going to see 20 or 30% in the markets that are very fundamentally scarce in terms of supply, but there are suburbs out there that are already experiencing 20% drop. So something that I would say as a word of caution is when you're approaching these deals, yes, we're having an amazing amount of growth. Yes, we're going to see huge amounts of growth this year. I mean, look at the savings rates. Look at how much as an economy, as Australians, we are saving. Interest rates, all-time lows. We are predicted to go lower. And then this came out earlier this week where a home loan that is getting presented to us, not just below 2%, it's 1.75% fixed for 3 years. Now, yes, it's owner occupied, but is this an indication of what's to come? About 9 months ago, I came out on this channel and I was saying, look, we will see rates, I predict, at 1.5% by the end of 2021. We're in January and we're seeing 1.75 already. So we literally just see another cut or some more quantitative easing. We will see that 1.5% and potentially lower. How low can they go? Well, who knows? And it really just comes down to understanding what we can understand and not try and get too caught up with what we don't know and what we can't predict. That's why even though my video that's doing quite well is my top 10 predictions for property in 2021, if you haven't checked that out, there should be a link in the description or a card that pops up here where you can check that out, but it's a prediction, right? I'm not some person that can forecast exactly what's going to happen. I just base my data and knowledge and understanding of what's happening of these markets and then chuck out what I think is going to happen. But essentially, nobody really knows. And what I really want to come across in this video is, yes, I go on about how there's going to be a property boom this year. We are already in it, right? Whether you believe it or not, there are markets out there growing by 15+%. Am I saying to just jump in and buy whatever you can? No. I feel like as a buyer's agent, we've actually slowed down how much we're buying purely because there is some really dumb money out there in the system right now, and people are making rash decisions. They're going, I don't want to miss out. The fear of missing out is just killing me. I'm frustrated. And this is the time where we really need to now really get down to our strategy, really hone down on what is our long-term plan here. Is it to purchase something that's, say, $20,000 above market value? Well, if we then experience in the next year another 10% growth, but we actually purchased at 10% above market value, you're going to realize 0% growth. That's the reality. And so this is where it's about keeping calm. It's about understanding why certain people are buying, why they're not buying. But essentially, if you are in the market and you're out there, just be safe. Take the due diligence seriously, and this won't last forever. We do not see a property boom forever. We do not see price growth at these levels sustainable over the long period. Now, I do think we are going to see these positive conditions for the next 3 to 5 years. So if you sort of get into the market now and it's heated, well, you better be making the right decision as to which properties are actually in demand and which properties are now getting thrown onto the market just because everyone else wants to buy, these vendors are going, well, my property's got some problems with it. Let's just chuck it onto the market and see what happens. If someone buys it, well, we got away with, a dud property, and now we can move into another area and do whatever we like. This is where a lot of people will get burnt. In 2017, the same thing was happening in Sydney and Melbourne, where we were seeing people just throw money going, well, no, it's Sydney, it's Melbourne, don't worry about it. It'll always keep going up. Now we know what happened. APRA kicked in, into gear, and they said, no, we got to fix this up. Our housing market's getting way too extreme, but we're already at those numbers now. And so what I think is about diversifying our risk. Simply going out there and purchasing a property for $1 million or for $800,000 and putting all of our risk into one property, well, what happens if the market does correct? A 10% correction on a property that's worth $800,000 is $80,000. That sounds like a lot, because it is. If we then take that risk and we go, okay, well, let's look at markets that, yes, we're in markets that are very hot, and we do predict it's going to keep growing. If we go into a market that's relatively affordable, if we're looking at $300,000, $400,000, well, a 10% correction is $30,000 to $40,000. And we have stronger cash flow to allow us to keep holding that position with that property. So if we now see 2 years of a slowdown and there's not that massive growth, which can quite often happen after huge amounts of growth for a couple of years, if we have that situation happen, well, you don't need to let go of that property because you can afford to hold it. The places that I think people are really going to get screwed over is the same sort of mechanics, the same mentality that people have been carrying over, saying, capital cities, that's where the capital growth is. I don't care about cash flow. Let's just buy into Sydney right now because the market is moving. It is so hot. And then what happens? A correction can happen. So as much as I'm bullish on property, as much as I go out there and say execute and action things, there is a moment where you need to really get down to logic and think about what's happening. Why are we seeing these sort of numbers? Are we going to see huge amounts of growth in the next 3 years? Yes, we are. Is it going to be across all markets? No, it's not. And what can we control? Well, we can probably control us purchasing the property. We can probably purchase a relatively good area with scarce supply. But then there's others and other factors we can't control. Like, for instance, if you lose your job and you don't have enough cash flow to hold on to that property, and now you see a dive or a bit of a correction or a slowdown in the market, you've pretty much screwed, right? The dark side of property is very dark because you get hit with debt that's just gonna hold on in your life, that's gonna be attached to a dud investment. This is the importance of knowing research really well. Go out there, get educated, and it's a great time to mention, in the description below, you will see a link to my online course. We are running a promotion at the moment, $300 off. That's as much as I'm going to mention. People come out here and say, oh, look at this guy, he's trying to give us value, but then he's selling us something. Okay, that's all I'm going to mention about it. I don't need to sit here and convince any of you to do anything, right? The fact that you are here, you've made the choice, the active choice to really try and engage in, useful information, I hope, and trying to educate yourself about finance, about personal finance. Yes, we can sit and cry the fact that properties shouldn't be this high. Affordability is a concern. Wage growth has not been existent. We can cry about those things, but unfortunately, the government does not care about our feelings. And to be honest, if now you can go out there and action these things, you know about these things, are you going to simply sit there and regret the opportunity we have currently? I'm not coming out here and saying FOMO in. I'm saying get educated sooner rather than later and start making those moves when you can afford to. And be smart about it. Diversify that risk. Understand cash flow. Guys, too many people are getting caught up with what worked 15 years ago. Our parents may be sitting there saying, oh, no, don't go regional. I don't know about that location. Don't buy interstate. Sydney, Melbourne is king. No, it's not. We saw it in 2017. And to think that the same thing may not happen is just ludicrous. Guys, protect yourselves, be understanding and research. Get educated. We as well are telling our clients, right now is a frustrating time to buy. We are going to miss out on a lot of properties. So on one front, if they come out, you come out and see, I'm saying, oh, property's going up, you might email me and I get smashed with like 30 to 40 emails a day. Okay, a day, let alone all the DMs that I get on Instagram and things like that, which, I'm super appreciative of. But the fact is, we have definitely seen that shift from 3 months ago where I had a few people hitting me up to now a lot of people hitting me up, and they're all asking the same thing. How quickly can I buy? I don't even want a strategy session. I just want to buy. Guys, this will not last forever. The sustained period of growth is not going to last forever across all markets. There are certainly some markets that have performed really well and above average, and those are the ones we're targeting for our clients, right? It's not so much looking at, oh, let's just look at a map and just buy anywhere, or let's just buy in Sydney. If we can afford an apartment, let's just buy that. It's not about that. Get really educated. Right now is the best time to get educated and to make the right moves. If you make the right moves in the next 12 to 18 months, you will have the amount of growth that normal people would have had in normal times in the period of 3 to 5 years. I firmly believe that. And I think with this boom that a lot of people are now catching on to, it's only going to get more heated. It's now about going, I know what to look for. And because I know what to look for, I can act very quickly. I can get my finances in order. I can then reach out to the people I need to reach out to and then actually execute. Guys, that is my latest market update. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope that it's not just about coming to this channel and being like, this guy's a buyer's agent, he just wants everyone to buy property. No, it's about understanding that I've been investing for 6 years. I understand what's been happening long before that. And I'm not just someone who sits here and goes, oh, look, the market's going up, let's just buy where everyone else is. No. I don't want to just give this FOMO and this hope that, everything's going to grow and it's going to be amazing. It's not the case. Guys, people are going to get burnt out of this. I hope you are on the right side of this. Get associated with educating yourself and get the right team around you. Listen to the right people and execute as always. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.